What's up, guys? Michael back with another video. This one is for the Ltz400. I think I mentioned in the last video that we were gonna go with a 434 big bore kit. We just got that in the mail today. We will open that up. I opened the box, but I haven't looked at anything yet. I'm still recording off the iPhone, so just bear with me on this. But we'll get right into it. So let me flip you around here. So just opened it up, haven't really looked at anything. So first off the bat, we got gaskets, exhaust gasket, some new copper washers. Looks like we got a new air filter, some high temp RTV, got a plug for it, NGK. Always go with the NGK plugs, me personally. Another box here, I'm guessing that's piston rings. This here looks to be an oil filter. Yep, oil filter. And then here we have the cylinder and piston. And then a little bit of thread locker. So I really like what these guys are doing. These kits they're putting out. It's quality stuff for an affordable price. We'll get the cylinder unwrapped here for you guys. A jug, whatever you want to call it. If I can get the plastic off with one hand. Bear with me for a second. Okay, so we got that out. So you got the piston here. This is a cast piston. I know people have mixed feelings on these. This looks to be a stock compression piston. So it tells you there that end faces towards the exhaust. Tells you right there the bore size. So I think, was it 87? I may be wrong, I might be thinking of something else, but I think 87 is a stock bore size, and this is 93.96. So we'll set that there. Got your new wrist pin with clips. And then we got the cylinder here. So let's take a look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that cross hatching in this is amazing. Can't wait to get this put on the bike. But the key with these, a lot of the cheaper top end kits you guys get off of eBay and stuff like that, people have a problem with them because they don't do proper break-in, and they blow them up. And there's other things that factor into that as well. I've used tons of the cheap top end kits, and if you do it correctly, you really won't have an issue. I mean, sometimes you'll have an issue every once in a while with these cast pistons. They swell up when they get heat to them, so it's critical to do a actual break-in and not just throw it together, start it once, and make sure everything sounds good. You need to have the heat cycles in it. And another reason that these top end kits fail is because a lot of them come with cheap gaskets. Now this one, it's got good gaskets in it. It's got the three, I can't remember what they are, the 3-piece gaskets that are basically stock OEM gaskets that come on the bike. Now, a lot of these kits, you'll get like a thin paper gasket, and you end up blowing a head gasket or something like that, and then losing your coolant. And if you're going through mud and stuff, you're gonna have water on your bike, and you might not know that your coolant's low. And if people don't keep up on their bike and their temperature sensor doesn't work or what have you, then they won't know. They'll blow their bike up, blame it on a cheap kit. So it's a really good idea to make sure that you do a proper break-in, have good gaskets, and make sure, like on the Z400s, you have a temperature sensor and you have a light on the dash that's supposed to work if you go over the temperature or overheated or whatever. Make sure all that stuff's working. That's going to save you in the long run. And I won't lie, a forged piston would be a better choice, but if you guys are on a budget, this will be perfectly fine. Just follow the steps. Do a proper break-in, have good gaskets, make sure your bike's in good working order, electrical wise, sensors and everything, lights, and do the good break-in. I do 15 on first startup. I do 15 minutes idle, shut it off, let it cool completely down. Another 15 minutes of idle, shut it off, let it cool completely down. I do that about 4 times. And then I'll let it run for about an hour. Your fan should be kicking on once it gets up to temperature, so it's critical to make sure that all that's working. Let it run for about an hour, shut it off, let it cool completely down, and then after that, I usually go on a short ride. First gear, just cruising around, not doing much, getting some air flowing into that radiator. Your fan should be running also, and then do that for about an hour or so. Let it cool completely down. Get an oil change, because you're going to want to change the oil. If you blew your bike up, you're probably going to have debris in your oil filter from previous damage, so you want to get that all cleaned out. Another thing is break-in oil. Now, you'll find all this stuff in your manual, and there'll be more specific ways that they would prefer you to do it, but I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You don't have to do it this way. Always refer to your manual for oil changes and break-in and stuff like that. But this is just what I do. Now, me personally, I use, Rotella T6. I think it's full synthetic for break-in. Well, not just break-in, I use that in all my bikes. So I use that as break-in, and I use that oil to actually run the bike. Never had an issue with it. But like I said, you can use whatever you want. You can use actual break-in oil. You can refer to your manual and use whatever they tell you in there. But yeah, so let's go over everything again. We got piston rings, oil filter, plug, silicone gasket maker, gaskets, piston, wrist pin and clips, cylinder, and we got an air filter too, so that's a plus. So we'll throw all this together and get a video of putting it together. Now, I don't have a manual yet for this bike, but I'll probably pick up one or see if I can find an online PDF file of one, and we'll go over all the torque specs and stuff like that, and we'll get it together and show you what the finished product looks like. Now, this bike probably won't be running for a while because there's going to be other things I'm going to do. I can't decide if I want to do a full rebuild on it or just throw it together. I need to go through the wiring harness. I don't know if I want to pick up a brand new wiring harness. I think they're pretty expensive. I think they're right around $250, $300. I may be wrong. If somebody else knows of one that's cheaper, let me know down in the comments. But that's just what I've seen. I haven't really looked. But I might just go through the wiring harness I have and clean it up and fix any connections and whatnot. Another thing too, to make sure all your connections are good with your wiring harness, I do this on all the bikes that I have. I put dielectric grease on everything. That's going to help with water, like repel water out of it and stuff. Make sure you have a good solid connection, especially on these Z400s. You want to make sure everything is working good. You want to make sure your fan's working good. It's not like an air-cooled bike. You don't have to worry about nothing. This, you actually have a radiator, you have a fan, you have sensors. All that stuff needs to be in good working order. So I'll do another video on going through the wiring harness if I decide to go that route. If not, we'll get one ordered. But let me know what you guys think I should do in the comments below. If I should get the frame powder coated and the A-arms and stuff like that, or should I just throw it together and do a low budget build? I know we put quite a bit of money into the Warrior, so I'm kind of leaning towards a low budget build on this bike, low budget track build. So far we are $300 into it with that's the purchase of the bike. I think we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna do a low budget build track bike, because it's already wide. I think it's got to be 4 inches wider all the way around, at least 3. I don't know. I think it's 3 because I don't think they make the 4-inch A-arms I'm pretty sure they're full flight A-arms. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like theirs. I kind of looked on their website. I wish they were ASR or something like that, but they'll be all right. I ran full flight in the past, never had an issue out of them. But I think that's about it for this video. If there's anything you guys want to see specifically or have any suggestions, I look at all the comments, so leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.